and Pascal Levanchi. And a good opportunity now to compare the French couples back-to-back. Well, that's what the crowd think, 6-0, and that's before they've skated.
I wish I had a ponytail like that. Now, the guys used to skate in a jacket and trousers like this way back. So it's going back in time style-wise. And as ever, she looks just gorgeous. Nice little flick. Little stumble there. And that could cost them dear. Pascal just catching his toe.
Great. Well, that was superb. Now, just comparing those two performances, for me, I thought this was better. There wasn't the repetition in this performance. Sophie Mongnot and Pascal Levanchi back to fitness and back on top form.
And they put a lot of innovation in that. For me, there was more depth of feeling and the tango coming through it. There were times when they could have put a little bit more technical content in, that's for sure, but they generated some excellent speed for some of the highlights. Nice little flick here and there. Very interesting pattern. Or doing a loop, pushing back on the pattern, you're allowed to do that. They're going to change the rules so it becomes 2 sequences next year, a repeat of the first sequence again. So that's going to change for the skaters, but for now they're allowed to have a lot of innovation.
Super. These two, remember, won the silver medal back in '95. Didn't compete at all last year.
Put her down. I don't know.
They've skated at Skate America and the Nations Cup, where they won the bronze medal this season, and won gold in the NHK Trophy.
And what about the fashion stakes, Chris? What do you think of the jacket? And do you think it looks cool?
Yeah, I think the costumes. I think the costumes.
5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 6, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Merci.
5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 6, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8. Thank you.
Sur la glace.
On the ice.
Irina Lovacheva.
So now to the couple lying just behind the two French couples in 5th place. It was 5th that they finished in last year. This is Irina Lobacheva and Ilya Avobuk from Russia.
start. An effective diagonal sequence that. They're taking the routine of having a swooping routine, of swooping kind of movements. It's a little soft for me for an overall tango. Nearly lost it.
Well, a completely different approach to this original dance from Lobacheva and Averbukh. They're adopting the Argentine tango, and in complete contrast to the two French couples.
I mean, she's great on the fashion stakes. I'm not sure I quite like his waistcoat. But great skating, a lovely flow to it, soft ankles and knee bend, a lot of power. But there wasn't enough of a tango in that for me. It didn't characterize the tango dance throughout. It was almost like a waltz in places, the swooping of the edges and the nice, graceful movements. Well, that's super, providing in between that there's a little bit of staccato and a little bit of capturing that mood, and it didn't come across enough for me. So I was thinking there should be something more in here. And also the changes of hold. A lot of the time they were in dance hold and they stayed in that. And when they did do a change of hold, they had a little bit of a stutter, a little bit of a problem. So, you know, it's good expression, but I thought they could have captured more of the tango feel.
Yes, I have to agree with you. I feel the staccato movements were certainly missing. They're both good quality skaters in their own right, and good use of the knee bend was evident throughout the dance. But not capturing that tango feel.
The best bit was when they kind of lined up across the rink and did a diagonal, because that is, you know, in ballroom tango, you stop and do a little bit of a straight line, but there was a mix. It wasn't really enough ballroom or enough Argentine, not quite sharp enough, but I think the quality will get them the good marks.
Well, certainly currently ranked third. Remember, the big guns still to go. Krylova, Ovsyannikov, Grichuk and Platov, they go in the last group. So every judge has them down in third place. Remember, they finished fifth in these championships last year, lying in fifth place at the moment. So now down to the nitty-gritty and the battle for the medals. Certainly the gold and the silver. And next to skate will be the couple lying in second place. Silver medalists in last year's championship as well, but winners in Skate America, the Nations Cup and the Cup of Russia. So in great form this season. Even sporting a hat for the occasion. This is Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov for Russia. Well, we were just reaching for the rule book there.
Clever. There is a rule that says inappropriate clothing, you have 0.1 or 0.2 taken off. So he puts the hat on, everybody goes, oh, is he going to push it here? Do we have to make deductions or not? And he takes it off. Great showmanship. always captures my attention. He is one of the best male ice dancers in the world, and it's because of the sharpness, the way he can move and stop. It's great power and expression, but he is so sharp in the movements.
What about that? Well, the pressure is on, and they're the masters, Natalia Linarchuk and Gennady Karponosov, their coaches. Fantastic stuff. Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov throw down the gauntlets.
And when you see a dance couple, be it on ice or off ice, often if the man is very strong, then the couple look very strong. Sometimes it's the lady that can dominate it, but in this case, it's definitely the man. He is something special out there, and lots of detail in that routine. I love the thing about the hat. There could have been more difficulty in terms of the Choctaws and the Mohawks within it, but it was the detail and the putting over of the passion of the piece. Yeah, it's excellent skating. They cover so much ice with very few steps as well, really moving and swooping in and out. And you don't realize how fast they're going until you see the overall picture on the ice. Great ice coverage.
That's right, the television doesn't really do these two justice, does it? You can see the intricacy, but the speed across the ice is exceptional.
I mean, they do 2 steps and they've gone, you know, across half the end of the rink, dead easy.
Beautiful expression, as always. Well, there really is a bit of conflict between the two Russian couples now, Oksana Grichuk and Evgeny Platov, who go a little bit later. They've moved coaches, now working with Tatiana Tarasova, formerly, of course, with Linarchuk and Karponosov, but they've moved because they felt that they weren't getting enough attention. Now, these two certainly looking stronger this year, and it's first place for them at the moment, rightly so.
I think it's going to be a real tight battle for first here.
The judges have certainly left some room, haven't they?
They have indeed, and I think the battle will go to Worlds as well. It'll be between the two events.
Well, a good day's work from Krylova and Ovsyannikov. So now to the couple lying just ahead of the Lithuanians. Remember the couple whose program was choreographed by Jane and Chris. This is the Czech couple, Katerina Mrazova and Martin Simacek.
Good changes of direction in that opening piece.
expressive end to the program. Katerina Mrazova, Martin Simacek. Aniki, how do you compare that to the Lithuanians?
Well, there's a lot of content in that, and there were some nice bits of choreography within it. For them, I'm not sure that it really suits their style overall, the tango. And it's a little bit, if the music's a bit lighter, then they seem to, you know, be more comfortable with that. But they've done a good job here, and I think the content of it and the way it had the flow over the ice and the edges, I think I put it above them at the moment because of that, really. And I think Margarita and Pavlas could have put some more strength and definition into what they had, so there was more highlights and technical stuff in certain areas, but that bit more expression could have made the difference.
Good explanation there. I just find that when I watch the Czech couple, they seem to make everything look hard work.
Well, some of it flowed well to me. I mean, there was quite a lot of good moves. I think the thing that didn't come over to me was really so much the stops and the light and the shade. It was more of a traditional skating routine, keeping going on the flow. The first side was a bit empty, actually. That was it, building up speed and just doing a position. But after that, lots of content.
I have to tell you, they in fact dropped below the Lithuanians. I, for one, think that's the right result.
Yeah. There we go.
The Austrian having them ahead of Margarita and Pavlas, but everybody else has them below.
I'd have to sit in the Austrians' position.
5-2, 5-3, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-4, 5-3, 5-2. Merci.
5-2, 5-3, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-4, 5-3, 5-2. Thank you.
So now to the reigning world and European champions. In the lead going into this original dance, this is of course Oksana Grichuk and Evgeny Platov from Russia. A new coach this season, and a new look for Oksana as well. That was fabulous.
You're not supposed to be in Killian hold, and they were almost in Killian hold. That's side by side with the arm across the man's chest. They almost... It was very close to that for a while there. Could be a deduction.
Wow. As electric as ever. Oksana Grishuk and Evgeny Platov. Now, he's been fighting with a knee injury, couldn't compete in the national championships, but in top form here in Paris.
And that one of the best original dances I've seen them done. The highlight was that bit in the choreography in the middle with the turn and going into it and out with the nuance was fantastic. Great ice coverage and lovely edges. And they didn't know until 2 days before this event that they were coming here. So to skate like that is just brilliant. But I just wonder whether it's quite enough, because there's something about the costumes, the overall presentation, just to me, it isn't quite as strong as it was for Angelika and Oleg. And I think there's a chance for one or two of the judges to maybe be saying, first, second here.
Can I put you on the line? Are they going to stay ahead of Krylova and Ovsyannikov?
I think they'll stay ahead at this stage in the competition, but I think it's becoming closer and closer. Great expression.
It really is theatrical, isn't it? And they're really living every part of the music.
And it's tremendous quality in the skating.
Well, there's quite a story. You were saying that they didn't know until a couple of days ago that they were actually going to be able to compete, and there are rumors that they put a lot of pressure on the association, because the Russian Federation was saying because they didn't compete in the national championships, they wouldn't get a place here at the Europeans, and rumor has it that they threatened to compete for the Ukraine.
Well, I think if you've got a European champion and they want to go and skate, it's good to let them go and do it.
Wow, look at that. Well, the judges are going along
Good night, and
with that performance. They thought it was fabulous.
Yes, certainly, here I am.
I have to say, I thought it was
this.
good
My
too.
colleagues
3
just,
5.9s, the rest 6s for presentation. All 5.9s for the first set of marks. Comfortably the leaders. Goodness me.
And that's a big message going into the free dance. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be much closer. It's an important psychological point.
It certainly will be, and Tatiana Tarasova very pleased indeed.
6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 5-9. Thank you.
Sur ma danse,
On the ice,
Sylvia Novak, Sébastien.
Couple that have just made it into the top 10. They were 9th last year, lying in 10th place going into this original dance. This is Sylvia Nowak and Sebastian Kolazinski from Poland.
He scared the cameraman there.
Very expressive stuff there from the Polish couple, Sylwia Nowak and Sebastian Kolozinski.
I thought there's some really good bits in that. The capturing the ballroom dance feel with the upper body movement, that was very strong. Needs a bit more commitment in some of the drops. Get the lady a bit lower. And parts of it, as far as the actual skating went, were a little gentle. But the movement, and so there wasn't really that commitment of really going for, you know, the amount of lean or the amount of extension in the bodies that you'd need, which makes it more difficult to do, and you can come a cropper very easily. So, you know, we're seeing a direct comparison between the top and the 10th place, and you know, they're skating well. They know what they have to do to improve. A bit more power, a bit more speed, a bit more commitment, definition in the movements.
As I felt with Sebastian was very, very positive through the movements, but she seemed just a little bit soft in places to me. Good expression throughout the program.
Yeah, it seemed like they were getting the movements right, and they were doing the right things for the tango. Just wasn't quite enough power in each of the movements. He could let her go a little bit further back on the lean and move towards her and then away. Little things like that adds to the overall impression.
They're currently ranked in 8th place. So they, in fact, will pull up 1 place. The Czechs, in fact, drop now down to 9th. And if the next couple stay ahead of them, which they should do, will in fact drop down to 10th place. So a drop of 2 places for the Czech couple, and good news for the Poles because they pull up 1.
5.
So now to the couple lying in 7th place. That's a place higher than they finished in last year's championships. Representing Italy, this is Barbara Fusopoli and Maurizio Margaglio.
That's a bit of a dress, Chris. I like this, well constructed. It's got good flow and then the stop.
Well, that was a program with an awful lot of light and shade.
It was one of my favourite tangos of the day, actually. I really like the way they got the expression in there, from the grace and the flow of what is obviously ice skating into the tango mood. They seem to be able to change the mood within it. Some clever little points, nice changes of direction on the choreography. And both of them, it was almost a balance in the way they were presenting it and relating to each other. I like that.
Yes, I thought the construction of the program was good. It was certainly different, wasn't it, to anything we've seen so far this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, there's room for more definition, more power in the movements, and more strength in the skating that we've seen from the Russians. But you know, it's still nice ice coverage. It's not too soft. It's not too slow. But there were some bits that really captured your imagination. But it was the way they could not be over the top with the expression, as we can see here. Sometimes you can see, you know, you try so hard to put the expression into it that it becomes false. But you know, she doesn't look like his aftershave smells this time. You know, it looks more real. So I thought they did that very well.
One thing I did notice, there was seemed an awful lot of toe work. It seemed to me like he was pushing off the toes an awful lot. Perhaps in the character of this dance, it's not sacrilege.
Well, toe steps are not allowed, but you can use your toe to push off.
They're the current ranking, ranked 8th, and this couple, the final couple in the competition. So they, in fact, drop 1 place.
I'd get one of those letters if I was on the judging panel, Chris. You know, you get a letter if you do it wrong.
The Lithuanians are up into 7th place from 8th in compulsory dance number 1 and 9th in the second dance. The Italians in 8th place just behind them, and the Poles in 9th. So,
yeah, I like
a
that.
lot of changing around in this original dance, which we're not used to seeing in the dance competition, are we?
No, it's good stuff.
Final results of the original dance. Remember, the free dance still to go. Grishuk and Platov lead, Krylova and Ovsyannikov in 2nd place. Then the 2 French couples swap places. Monyot, Lavonchi in 3rd, Anasina and Pesarar in 4th place. And that's the situation further down. The Czechs dropping a couple of places down into 10th place. And they're the British couple in 14th, Marika Humphreys and Philip Askew. Well, it's been an outstanding competition. Really looking forward to the free dance now. The stage is set for a fantastic competition. We're going to take our leave from the ice dance.